Hello, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from yourblackworld.com. You saw that this week there was an interesting commercial released by a little website called Green Label, and Green Label is part of the Mountain Dew brand. And the ad that I saw, which was sent to me last night from Erica Gordon Taylor, who's the representative for the Emmett Till family, literally knocked my socks off. I've never seen anything like this. This ad had a whole lineup of black men in the jailhouse with a frightened white woman thinking about whether she's going to identify one of the black men who might have beat her, robbed her, raped her, or done something horrible to her. And it was just an ad that was just chock full of stereotypes. Probably one of the worst ads I've seen from any major corporation in my lifetime, at least that I can think about. And so we put out the article yesterday, and within 24 hours, the article was read by about, I want to say, maybe 60,000 people. And one of the people who read the article was someone who didn't just read it and didn't just complain about it. He did something about it. Mr. Paul Porter from raprehab.com, he's an experienced radio personality. He also worked with BET for a very long time. He's a veteran in the game. And Paul literally picked up the phone, spoke to a senior vice president at Mountain Dew, and got this ad taken off the air in just a few hours. And I've got Mr. Porter on the line, and I want to ask Mr. Porter how he's doing. How are you today, my brother?
Hey, well, after that good introduction, I can say shit like this doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah, I've had a nonprofit for 10 years called Industry Years. We take on issues in terms of MTV and BET and, all the stereotypes, some videos to Rick Ross, Shorty Lowe. And this is the quickest that something's ever happened. But this was about relationships. This isn't the normal thing. You just don't knock on a corporate door like Pepsi and they say, okay. That doesn't happen. Not for black folks. No,
it doesn't happen. And I'm curious. I mean, I really think you saved them a lot of money, a lot of potential damage to the brand. This article took off like wildfire. Within a couple of hours, they had thousands of reads, and people were spreading and sharing and talking about it.
Yeah.
And I think you get on the phone with them, actually saved them. I mean, how did it happen? What did you do?
Well, here's what happened. I saw it on your Facebook page, and I'm like, I just talked to Erica yesterday. She didn't tell me nothing about this. And I watched the ad, and I read your story and watched the ad, and I flipped. I was like, I called her up right away and said, why didn't you tell me about this? You gave me the corny press release. But anyway, make a long story short, I had a relationship. The guy over there is Frank Cooper. He's the senior vice president, chief marketing officer for Global. That's a hell of a title. That means you make $1 million and you give Beyonce $50 million contracts and Wayne $10 million and a lot of these stars money. And Frank's black, and he's really good at what he does. But I sent it to him. He had no knowledge of it, and he got it done right away with some other things I wanted done. Because you fight these things and it happens every month. Every couple of weeks, there's something worse. There's some other image. And then black folks fight black folks. I get, let the brother make his money, man. Let him do his thing, his grind, So you get all that type of hate all the time. And even with this stuff today, got more hate. Because people are telling me, it's like Dave Chappelle. No, that commercial was not Dave Chappelle. As you said, that was one of the worst things, most stereotypical, and the white woman was beat up. She was beat up in it. I mean, I saved the ad because I know how quick companies pull things. I watched that thing even when it was pulled because I said, this is classic. And it was Tyler, the creator, a brother whose company came up with it. So that excuse that we also always need black people, no, we just need good people doing their jobs.
Well, Tyler, the creator, Kirsten West Savali had pointed out that Tyler, the creator, actually made a lyric in a song where he joked about how he said literally, and I'm just gonna quote here, I'll rape a pregnant bitch and tell my friends I had a threesome. And so any man, any human being who can spit a verse like that and think that that's normal on any level, or just think that that's just a normal type of creative expression, is clearly disturbed. I mean, that's just kind of crazy. That so this ad threw me back. I mean, so tell me what happened when you picked up the phone, you called. Was it a long conversation you had with?
Oh yeah. It was an email followed with, a right-away response. Hey, can I talk to you in an hour? And I was like, wow. Most of the time, Frank's crazy busy. It's one of them friends that you like, but you could call 10 times and they never pick up the phone and don't call you back, and you're used to it. But then when you talk and you connect, like a situation like this, we talked over an hour.
Wow. So
because it's about setting up things after this so it doesn't happen. Everybody says, well, he's in charge. How they happen? You know how many things they put up on the web and real commercials all over? He'd be looking at stuff all day.
Interesting. So let me ask you this. What do you think it was that led him to say, call me in an hour? I mean, this busy man who normally doesn't have time, too much of it.
Because he knows when I call, it's about something. And I've sent him some stuff on Emmett Till and said, this can be a problem, But then the reason why Rick Ross gets in more trouble than Lil Wayne does, and the truth behind it is, you have organizations fighting, but when you get a big organization, or should I say, and I love white people, a big white organization, companies really listen.
Yep.
And the biggest black organizations, they never do anything against other big organizations because those organizations spend money with each other. So the NAACP and, the Urban League and whoever else, they're not going to really get into issues against corporations that have, their award show list. It doesn't pay off. But luckily this time it paid off. That ad is like priceless to me. And it was created by somebody black. But it shows you how out of touch. For that to be accepted, we went from lyricists to the lyrically challenged. I say that all the time. These lyrics are not even words.
You said lyricists to what?
The lyrically challenged.
Wow.
Because these lyrics really don't make any sense. They should be a joke. That's why Dave Chappelle was so classic. He would do records all the time that were on the air, and it was funny. And he'd do it word for word. And those are the records that kids are listening to. And, but I look above Tyler's head. Like, who green-lighted that? Who did he give that to and they said, hey, good stuff. We'll go with it on, April 30th. It's crazy.
Wow. Well, it's interesting that that this ad, became, as public as it did right when it did, because, today, Erica Gordon-Taylor, who you and I both corresponded with, she's representing the Emmett Till family that is calling for Mountain Dew to drop the sponsorship of Lil Wayne because Wayne has not apologized for comparing Emmett Till's face to a woman's vagina. Now, from what you've seen, brother, have you seen anything to indicate that Mountain Dew understands the seriousness of
I know from this conversation with Frank Cooper that they do. And they've done some things, and I think they're going to commit to do some things. I set up a meeting, and it's about backing it up with money, not soda bottles or not anything nice or apology. That doesn't do anything. We have to retrain and reprogram what's out here.
Wow.
It has to have some balance. That's all. Just give me some balance. Give me some good
it's funny because, you know, when you think about all these individuals, you know, that you just mentioned, 2 Chainz, Chief Keef, and Trinidad James, you know, I know their music pretty well. I listen to it because I want to understand it. I allow myself to like it because I want to understand what people like about it. You know, it's like if you tell people not to eat chocolate cake, it's not because you hate chocolate cake. It's because you know that it's good, but you know that it's bad for you. And so when I think about 2 Chainz and Trinidad and Chief Keef, you know, I think about what you mentioned about people being lyrically challenged and how really, you know, hip-hop has been turned into it's been reduced on the radio to a set of very toxic, hypnotic, self-destructive nursery rhymes. You know,
yeah, but over some fat beats, they kill you with the tracks. I mean, some of the tracks, I just like listening. When I heard I Don't Like the first time, I played it like 10 times. I was shaking my head like a dumb bobo. I don't like. And then,
all right.
You know,
gold all in my chain, gold all in my ring.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's scary. There's a song out by Tiger now, Molly, with Wiz Khalifa. Have you seen that video? About a $400,000 video. Robots in it, and they have the Molly pills, and everybody's dancing. It's a freaky electronic beat, and people are getting high and race cars in the club all naked. It's a hot video, and all it says is Molly, Molly, Molly. And then Wiz Khalifa, his big line is, my name is Wiz Khalifa, filling my lungs with reefer. Come on, man, that's lyrically challenged. But if you're 25 and don't know no better, you old mofo, what do you know?
Right, I agree with you. Well, the reason I compare it to nursery rhymes, too, is that, you know, my theory on a lot of music is that, you know, a lot of what we like at the age of 5 is what we like when we're 25 and 35 and 45, you know. And so when I think about, like 2 Chainz, all I want for my birthday is a big booty hoe. You know, it's like this sort of very catchy, repetitive phrase. And I remember hearing a psychologist who studies the psychology of music, and he said that when you take a message and you repeat it over and over again over a beat, that literally what the beat is doing is it's sinking that message into your subconscious. So ultimately, each day, our kids are being fed, they're being fed the psychological tools necessary to lead them right into the prison industrial complex. What's that?
Dr. Watkins, this is the truth. It still adds up to a bad song. You can call it whatever you want. The song is this bad, but it's drilled in your head, and there's only 3 companies that control 88% of the media and the music that you hear. I know we have a democracy in 50 states and all these different people, but when it comes down to who's delivering their music, it's 3 companies.
But what makes it and I agree with you. I mean, the question, though, is what really makes it a bad song? I mean, if a song like Trinidad James, all gold, everything, we know that the concept is ignorant, but is it a bad song? And maybe it's bad in the technical sense.
Yeah, but lyrics count.
But I agree with you.
Rap was storytellers. They were.
I agree. I agree with you.
We went from storytellers, from leaders to like, that's that stupid, you know, Negro in red. I mean, it's but that's the thing, though. I mean, if millions of people are listening to these songs, I mean, you know, voluntarily, but
you know, like
that's because they're part of the system. Well, you're gonna get some sheep, but why train the sheep to be bad sheep that just go bah? Why can't they hear good stuff and all different types of stuff? And what's wrong with learning something? I learn from music. What can I learn from these songs? You know, I learn love songs. Yeah, I know, but everybody should be with me on this one.
Well, I'm with you on that, but I think. Well, I'm with you on that, but I think that what we have to do is accept the fact that there is a reason that intelligent people like this music, right? Like you said earlier that when you heard "I Don't Like," you like that song, you know. And now, see,
I like the track. I like the track, but I couldn't say the stupid words over and over again. But if I was 16, I would say it over again, and I would think it in my head what the stupid words mean, and I might go out and do stupid shit later. That's
right,
how bad these songs are.
And I agree with you, and I think and you see it manifest itself because you see behavior of teenagers changing as this music changes. Now, the music isn't always causing this behavior, but it is certainly glorifying the behavior. Like Molly use, which is actually that drug. I forgot what they call it, but it has a technical name. But basically, this drug that everybody's taking, Molly use increased once rappers start rapping about using Molly. So I agree with you. It does affect the behavior of young people. Now, one of the things that's interesting to me as well, though, is that what's kind of happening with music, you can compare it to food. There was a time where hip-hop was like food in a fancy restaurant. You know, it was well done. You know, the spices were cooked, you know, were sort of put on just right, and everything was cooked to the right precision, and the meals were healthy and complex and everything. And then now you've got fast food, basically. You've got this very quick and easy to make, tasty, unhealthy, very simplistic form of psychological food that's being fed to our kids, right? They went from the Four Seasons restaurant in, say, 1988 to White Castle today. And we know that, you know, eating a healthy meal is not the same as eating at White Castle, and that's kind of what our kids are being fed every day. So I need to ask you this. So as a veteran of media, I mean, you know media better than I do. You've been in this game for many years. What can people do to challenge what's going on, you know, with Clear Channel and these other conglomerates that are making a profit by feeding our kids this poisonous message every day?
Well, first they have to learn that there's a problem, and that's the number one problem I have, is uniting people around the cause, because they just say, you know, years ago when I was in radio forever in New York and D.C., and there were stations that everybody listened to. You know, I worked at KISS, and the whole family would listen to that. But later on, they split up and made adult contemporary and then rap stations, basically. So the adults went the older way. The younger folks, you know, 12 to 30, are on the Hot 97s or whatever, the all rap stations. And of course, older people, but their core audience is younger. And most adults say, I'm not going to listen to this crap all day. But if you're that young, and if you're, you know, having fun, and half of them smoking weed or doing Molly, that stuff sounds good. That changes your attitude. And it's such a balance. Everybody's saying dumb stuff. Before, there were just some people saying dumb stuff, you know. But a rough record back in 75 was Gil Scott-Heron. But he said it a whole different way. You know, when you heard the bottle, you weren't offended. That was a great story. But some of these records are like, I beat your pussy. You know, what is that about?
Yeah, it's you know, it's definitely a different game now, you know, and I think that we have to figure out how to confront this.
We have to confront it. Nobody does it. That's what I try to do. But people talk about it, but they don't want to really change anything because they're sort of used to it. And half the people argue for it, like, yo, let that brother make his paper, man. So what is he talking to my kid? You know, but, you know, why you a hater? And that's the other thing. You're always a hater if you comment on something. No, I'm a doer. You know, and I understand there's some people that write about it and don't do about it, and that's okay. Get the word out. But I wanna, you know, I wanna get that spot. I want it to change. And you got to do a little bit more.
Well, you know, I know that you are a doer. You picked up your phone and you called Pepsi and you got something done. And I appreciate the fact that you did that. And as far as the haters go, they don't have a voice. As far as I'm concerned, it's no different. It's no different really than when China, there were Chinese leaders that went out at the turn of the century and said, we need to stop smoking so much opium because it's killing our productivity, killing our society. You had opium addicts who said, stop hating. You need to stop. You need to quit. You need to shut up, you know, whatever. But there were people who continued forward with the purpose. And they even had to take some people out, had to kill some people to make their point, to protect the next generation. And as a result, they won that battle, and now China is one of the most productive countries in the world. And I guarantee you, they wouldn't have become the country they are today if everybody had kept smoking opium. So, we have our own version of that battle now, and I think we're going to win.
Wow. Well, that's a good story.
Yeah, well, I can tell it again if you need me to. We're gonna tell this one over and over again. And hopefully we'll be telling it, in hindsight, in terms of how we dealt with, this crisis, which I think is accurately described as a crisis. And so, I really appreciate everything you're doing at Rap Rehab, brother. You're welcome at Your Black World anytime you want. I want to say thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
All right, hey man, thanks for all you do, man. And you brought it to my attention. That's the good thing when I don't have to soak it up all the time from the same three sources that we normally see. And I watch them, but thank God for social media, man. I can hear real stories.
Absolutely, man. And I think the information revolution that's occurred through the internet, that can be one of the keys to our liberation as black people. Now black men like you and I can communicate with each other through media without having to ask for a white man's permission. And I think that's very, very important, and I think that's going to be an opportunity that we absolutely have to seize. So thank you, and again, I want to say to everybody listening, thank you for checking us out at yourblackworld.com, and let's continue to fight, and let's keep it moving. So until we meet again, please stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. We are gone. Peace.